listening to Lifestyle Business Radio. When it comes to success in life and business, it matters who you take advice from. So let's get better acquainted with one of the hosts, Mayumi Muller. Mayumi is the quintessential cosmopolitan success story. Born in Japan and raised in the United States, Mayumi's Japanese and African-American heritage has helped her learn how to connect with people from highly diverse cultures and backgrounds. Following her coursework at the University of Washington, Mayumi pursued a career in modeling, working professionally in major metropolitan areas throughout the United States and Europe. During this time, Mayumi cultivated an elegance, charm, and winning attitude that crowned her Mrs. Washington State in 1995 and landed her less than 5 places away from achieving Mrs. America. Since that time, Mayumi has raised 5 amazing children while attaining to the highest levels of success in every field she's entered. A President's Award-winning real estate agent for John L. Scott for 10 years, the top sales rep of a Fortune 500 company, owner of 8 multi-million-dollar businesses, and the world's #1 trainer in self-running business ownership. Learn the secrets to success in life and business from this amazing woman at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy website, lboacademy.com. That's lboacademy.com. Why build a business when you can build a lifestyle?
Ooh, those are my words of affirmation, man. I listen to that and I just get pumped up.
Pump it up.
I'm like, dang, I did all that.
I think you're all pumped up from your workout yesterday with Alex.
I know, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
seeing him today, now we got to see him this evening for a workout. I'm gonna be like, ugh. No, I'm just kidding. Now let's go on to our LBO segment, and that stands for the Lifestyle Business Owner. And I'm going to do a shout out right now because the book, The Lifestyle Business Owner, the hard copy, will be out April 24th at all of your local bookstores.
And Amazon.
So make sure you guys go out and get it. It is a how-to.
Do it.
Buy a business, grow profits, create systems, and work less than 5 hours a week. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
Me.
Yeah.
No, I want to do that.
Exactly. We do that, and we
Yes.
teach it. So go out and get that book. So what are we going to talk about right now?
I want to talk about employees. I mean, it's just such a
It's
great
like,
subject
yay,
for every.
boo.
No.
Yay, boo.
Listen, we love employees. So
it's a love.
it's part of the whole LBO
love
way.
it.
You got to
Yes.
have employees, period. And employees, we can never talk enough about employees, right?
Never.
Because this is something that all business owners struggle with.
Yep.
So let's talk about employees again. Let's talk about how to identify the right ones when you're out there looking to hire, right? So
Yeah.
there's what's the record unemployment right now, and so we're all having trouble finding these really decent employees, right? Because everybody's employed. So now we're interviewing maybe more people or less people are actually even, applying for jobs, right? So you're having to, decipher if they're worth hiring. So I just want to kind of go over, as a small business owner, how do you identify, a good person and a not, maybe not somebody you should try out. And I think we break it up into different categories, right? Because you might have a labor force, you might have a sales force, you might have your management team that you need to replace somebody, or the accounting team. So it's all kind of done a little bit differently.
Yeah, and Aaron's completely correct. It's really hard out there right now in our industry, the service industry, but all industries in general. But I would say, wouldn't you agree? I mean, you can't hire in desperity.
Yes.
I know the body came through and the resume came through, and then the body comes through and you have an interview and you're hired. You really have to step back.
Yeah.
And just because it's a body and you're desperate to have somebody in your place of business, don't do it. Really take a step back, let them leave, and evaluate if it's only that person or the other employees that are, people or candidates that are wanting to get the position.
But also, that all being said, you have to sometimes jump at the right opportunity, right?
If
So
it's
that's
a
why you
right
want to
one.
be able to identify what you're looking for in the process, so that you're not just either passing, being too slow, because there's a lot of other job offers
Right.
happening out there. So it's kind of a challenging scenario, but we're going to talk about that, how to identify. So let's talk about labor.
Yep.
Labor force. These people come in and,
ours.
a lot of ours, we have all the above, right? So, when we're hiring somebody, to do labor for us, I know that one of the most important things to us is reliability, right?
Yes.
Just somebody showing up, because we
Yep.
can usually train that labor,
Right.
right? So
Right.
now I don't need somebody that's totally skilled.
Right.
So if you give me a resume and all you've done is worked in an office job, you might be overqualified for my labor job,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're not going to like it. So I'm identifying right there that you're not maybe the person I even want to talk to about the
Right.
job, because you haven't
You haven't
done that particular industry. So I'm going to look at reliability. Like how long did this person work at? If I'm lucky to get a resume for
Yes.
some of these labor jobs even,
Yes,
but
or
I'll ask them those
application.
application. I'll ask them questions like, how long did you work at this location?
Mm-hmm.
And if they can, give me some decent time span, right? And just think logically when you're talking to these people, any employee, like,
Do they have transportation?
do they have transportation?
That's a
that's
huge
huge.
one.
Do they have a driver's license?
Yeah.
Do they have convictions? You can ask them these questions.
Because some of your employees are going to be around your customers.
Yeah.
So you have to
And I'm
make
not even
sure.
saying don't hire somebody that was
Right,
one,
we're
right?
not saying
You just
that.
need to understand what their background is,
Right.
and then how they would fit into your workforce. But biggest thing is you want to know that they're positive, right? So
Yes.
if somebody comes in and they're a laborer and they're like just Debbie Downer negative and they're
Right.
talking about their old job, and negative stuff, it's probably not going to go good with you.
Right.
So let's move on to the sales position.
Sales, yeah. So I've interviewed for sales positions many times, and I know that we do in our business as well. But what I would say is, when you're looking for a salesperson, is see if they have any track record. You salespeople, we know what we've sold. We know we're in
Yeah.
the President's
You know your
Club.
numbers.
We
Yeah.
know our numbers. So if they're coming to you and you're asking them what their numbers are, and they're having a hard time letting you know,
Yes.
then they're trying to lie and make up some numbers in their head.
Yeah, they're trying to sell you.
Yep.
And sometimes a good salesperson for the job is a horrible salesperson, out in the field, right? That's what I've found.
Right.
I just find that people that are very almost like matter of fact with me, that they say, I sold, $2 million last year and this many deals closed, and equated to $2 million, whatever the deal is, or my average ticket was $500 and, I've been doing this for the last 2 years,
Right.
and so why are you looking for a job? I plateaued out because I knew that the company could only handle so much sales, and I can produce more, right? And so you
Right.
want that person that's hungry, that
Yes.
hungry salesperson. Hey, are you willing to do cold calling? Yeah, no problem. Whatever it takes. I
Right.
got to I want to make my numbers. I want to be the top of whatever I do.
Yep.
You want that confident person,
The
trying
above and beyond
Yes.
salesperson, not the complacent one.
Yep.
And cold calling is good that you said that, honey, because that's kind of that salespeople don't really like to cold call anymore. And I believe that right now it's really coming to effect that you're going to have to get back doing it.
Well, there's
because
just
there's
so
so
much
much
noise out there.
noise out there, and you got to be in front of people's ear, faces, computers, everything.
But that also depends on the sales position too.
Yeah,
Not always
absolutely.
don't have to have that. But you're trying to again identify what are the attributes that are really truly important to that
To that
position, and then those
position.
are the ones you key in on, right?
Yep.
And again, reliability.
Yep.
So accounting, I just had to hire a new
Oh, yeah.
accounting staff. I mean, we went through
Yeah.
heck, for
We did go through heck.
Gosh, it was about a 6 to 8 month period.
Yep.
It was a year and a half, 2 years ago or something. A year, I don't know what it was,
About
but
a year and
it
a half
was
ago.
so challenging for us. I remember, and I focused on what I wanted, and I was very specific, and I looked for attributes that because I knew that I was going to have to be able to work with that person. So that's the other thing as a
Right.
business owner. Are you going to be working with that individual position every day, or is that
Or
going to be the
somebody
main
else.
part? Or and also you got to look at your management and the whole
Right.
company, right? And who's managing these particular people that you're hiring, and how do they match your managers' personality types, and how do you match yours if you're going to be the manager, right?
Right.
So
and if they match the owners, that's great. But then you need to introduce them to who they're going to be.
Yeah.
What is the word?
Working with.
Working with. Right. Who's going to be their boss? Because that has to be a good fit as well.
Yep. And if they don't, then you're going to have problems. But so like in the
Absolutely.
accounting, obviously you want to know somebody actually has worked in
In
accounting
accounting.
and actually knows maybe the software that you're
Right.
using. How many years have they done it? I asked some really you would think simple things, right? So I don't know accounting. I'm not like an expert accountant, but I'll ask about, hey, do you know how to do journal entries? Right? So some simple thing like that. Can you explain journal entries to me a little bit? If I've hired a lot of bookkeepers that don't know how to do that, you know, because they're complex sometimes and they can really mess your books up. So you have to be very cautious of that. I hired this lady one time and her, all she wanted to do was talk to me, you know, like have conversations. So she was, and I'm all about like, let's get business done. Right. And I had a problem because I was trying to fill that position and get caught up and then we were behind and she just wanted to constantly talk to me. And I was like, okay, I don't mind being your friend, you know, and everything, but I need you to, you know, get going. So when I first interviewed her, I should identify that she was a lot more talkative than I wanted, but I started getting desperate at that point because I just needed to get my books done. And I ended up hiring her. And so then the second time around when I had, she didn't work out.
Yeah, we were hired at a desperate.
Yeah, and I went through a job employment agency, you know, to hire these type of people sometimes. And when I interviewed the guy that was my recruiter, I said, listen, I need somebody that's rough, you know, like somebody that I know that I can communicate with and I'm not going to hurt their feelings because I can be very direct with them. And I want to make sure that they, you know, are obviously really good in accounting, but that, you know, that goes without saying. You expect that, right?
It's about business. It's about work. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. So I kind of identified, you know, somebody that was really rough in the interview, you know, kind of was like, perfect. I love this person, you know, and they still work for me and they're awesome.
She is fantastic.
Oh, love her. She's one of my favorite people I've ever hired, you know.
She's phenomenal. And again, a great fit, not only with us, but with our entire team.
Yep, exactly. So
no, that's great. Okay, so
how do you keep
them motivated? Well, you're good at it, Aaron.
Well, I think you're good at it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, well, you know, all I say to motivating people is first, we've always talked about this, is empowering them, letting them make decisions. Don't micromanage your employees. That's how I motivate people, is by not micromanaging them.
Yep.
How about you? Like,
I agree. I agree. Giving them the freedom, like it's their own business, you know, and they're able to manage it the way that they expect you to do it. So stay tuned for our Ask Aaron and Mayumi segment. This is where business people across the world write into us and ask us about the street smarts of small business. If you've missed any of our show today or would like to listen to any of our previous show, go to lboradio.com. Also, make sure you follow us on The Lifestyle Business Owner on Facebook and Instagram.
More of the Lifestyle Business Owner Show coming up on AM 1590. The Answer. You're listening to Lifestyle Business Radio. When it comes to success in life and business, it matters who you take advice from. So let's get better acquainted with one of the hosts, Aaron Muller. As a child, Aaron developed an interest in small business ownership from his family's marina on San Juan Island. From the start, Aaron was driven to seek out business opportunities and attain entrepreneurial success. His very first business venture was catching and selling shrimp at the docks when he was only 10 years old. While his peers were preparing to enter 7th grade, Aaron opened a bumper boat rental company, catering to San Juan's ample tourist traffic. Aaron's first real job came in high school, but by the time he graduated, he had earned enough to purchase half the company. Over the past 30 years, Aaron has gone on to start or buy over 20 companies in the Pacific Northwest and now owns 8 multi-million-dollar businesses. Aaron is the world's premier trainer in self-running business ownership and author of the Lifestyle Business Owner book, which lays out the principles for making a 6-figure income by working as little as 5 hours a week. Learn how to achieve your goals from this phenomenal business mind at the Lifestyle Business Owner Academy website, where you learn all kinds of amazing business knowledge. Visit lboacademy.com and take your life in an extraordinary new direction. That's lboacademy.com. Why build a business when you can build a lifestyle?
Yo, Mayumi, let's get this party started. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Before that, though,
it's AA Ron, not Aaron. It's AA Ron in the house.
So here's the deal. I think everybody needs to go out and get that book when that comes out, because I'm going to tell you they're gonna get lots of good stuff in there. And if you're thinking about buying a business or you're owning a business, I mean, we give a step-by-step process of doing these things and getting that business so that it will actually run without you. So April 24th, it comes out. Just want to remind you guys. Go to the bookstore, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, wherever you can find it, your local bookstores across the country. If they don't have it, ask them to bring it in. That's a big thing there.
Yep.
So, but let's get moving on with the questions.
And always available for digital download if you're on the road.
And it's going to be audio too. I'm going to have audio. So yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be great. Okay, so the first question, it's a long one. From Clifford in Renton, Washington. Favorite way to follow us is Lifestyle Business Owner Blog. So, honey, this is a long question, so think about this, okay? I own a small business, and I want to be strategic with my marketing budget. I don't mind spending a couple $100 here and there to test out some coupon books and seeing if it brings in customers. But there are some advertising opportunities that cost thousands of dollars. I don't want to throw thousands of dollars at something just to find out if it's viable advertising strategy and if it works. Is there a way to judge how well a marketing strategy is likely to perform before spending thousands of dollars to actually try it out?
Well, you know what? I think that if people really had that, business owners had that answer, we wouldn't spend thousands of dollars on junk. I mean, look at even huge companies spend millions of dollars and not know if something works, right? So look at the NFL commercials out there, or the NFL Super Bowl commercials, millions and millions of dollars, and some are huge flops.
Some were flops.
So we really don't know. I mean, there are some things that you can do on social media. It's getting better that way. Like our digital marketing is definitely a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you can. There's more analytics and there's more analytics on it, information on that, so that basically allows people
you can track it. You can track it better.
So you can kind of spend a little bit of money on something to see if you should spend a lot of money on something. So that's kind of what you're trying to do there, Clifford. And I would say digital marketing is going to be your best means. But if you're talking about like a coupon book, I mean, all you can do is, track it. I mean, make sure that you put some kind of tracking phone numbers, things like that, and start small. And then if you're getting good response, then you obviously up what you're already doing. But tracking numbers, I use collegiate.com. It's a great source for me to do that. But then, like I said, there's so many tracking things in digital media that you can start small.
And the consistency too. So
you can't
Aaron
just do
Clifford
one thing.
might ask this. I know some listeners might ask this as well. I would be thinking if I wanted to know something like this. But what do you recommend a time frame to see if it's working out? Like a direct mail piece, because I know that we do coupon books as well for some of our businesses. What would you say would be a good time frame for these people
to really make a good decision?
Yeah.
Like any kind of marketing, I always say 3 months is really key.
So 3 months,
really
guys.
Get an idea. Yep.
3 months. Great question. Thank you so much. The next question is from Chandra. She's from Washington, D.C. Favorite way to follow us is YouTube. If I'm buying a business, how do I tell if the seller is lying to me? The sellers can show me their tax returns, but some sellers file inflated tax returns and pay a little bit more in taxes just to sell their business for a little bit more money. I can ask for bank statements, but a seller who wants to commit fraud can provide fake bank statements. How do you make sure the seller is not a really smart crook trying to commit fraud before you buy their business?
Chandra, this is paranoia. I mean, like, seriously, like, you got to just, at some point trust people, right? So, yes, you're right. Somebody can come up with a fake tax return, but you can check that tax return to see if that's what was filed. But even if they did file that and they paid some more income in it, I mean, people just don't typically do this in small business. So you really got to look at what you're getting into on a business. Like, are you buying? Because it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Like, what you want to know is really the sales of that business.
Right.
And so if they're lying about the income that they ultimately produce, there's a lot of things that you can, just financials and bank statements, and really match things up, to really get a decent idea. But you want to just know, does it have good sales? What can you do to that business? Because I always tell people, like, you can either take this great business and make it really successful, even more successful, or you can ruin it because of your actions. So it's really dependent. Like, when I buy a business, I don't even do really hardcore due diligence, because I just know that I have a certain amount sales and it looks profitable, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do and make it successful. So don't be overly paranoid, because you're going to talk yourself out of it, because it's so easy to just talk yourself out of buying something because you're so paranoid.
Right.
What good does that do?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's great
Be
advice.
smart about it, but just don't
be smart about it,
crazy
but don't
about
be paranoid.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for your question. So the next question is from Ariana, and she is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Favorite way to follow us is Twitter. I just read the Lifestyle Business Owner book. Thank you. And it really opened my eyes. In your book, you talk about spending 5 hours a week to monitor your business if everything is going well. If something goes wrong with the business, then you step back to make things right. You step back in to make things right. I'm wondering how often things go wrong when you are a business owner who doesn't work there every day, and how often do lifestyle business owners need to step back in and work more than 5 hours a week?
Great
Again,
question.
Great question.
No, that's a good question. Thing is, it really is going to be dependent, so I usually jump in more so when I want to build the business.
Right.
So that's usually when I jump into the business and really put a lot of energy into it, because I want to build it up. And the only way to do it is have this leader that has this vision and go after it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
When things go bad, I don't typically jump in, I spend more time trying to solve the problem, but I don't necessarily have to go, start taking orders and things like that. So, it's all relative to what you're looking for and what's going on in your whole, business. But, bottom line is that there's a lot of times there's solutions, and try to be thinking, ahead of the game, so that you know what you're going to have to do and what you're willing to do. Right. So like I said, I'm not going to sit there and work behind the counter at one of my auto repair shops. It's just not going to happen. So if that happens, I have some, side plans, to make sure that I get some coverage, whatever, until I find somebody. And I usually can find somebody pretty quick. But, it happens, sometimes business goes great for a year or 2 years, and then you got to jump in and tweak things out. But just know that mentally, and you'll never, it's not a big deal.
Yep.
Right?
It's just temporary, it's just to kind of get in and kind of get things back on track. And that's what we do. And we're in growth mode right now for some of our businesses. So I know that we're really focusing on the growth of the business, and sometimes that can take time.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm not afraid to go out there and do it.
No, he is not afraid to go out
there. I worked
until
4:30 in the morning. I went from 4:30 p.m. to 4:30 in the morning the other day.
Aaron was out there working till 4:30 in the morning, pressure washing, doing a great job. And you know what? This is my husband for you. This is what he says before he leaves. He's like, you know what? I'm liking being out here with the guys out in the field, because this is a way that I can get things done and get the team going again. And I'm like, that is awesome. Well, you know what? Thank you all for listening to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business. If you missed any of our show, make sure you go to lboradio.com, and you can listen anytime, anywhere. Next week, our guest will be an expert in making your business uncopyable. Don't miss it, and make sure to submit all your questions to Ask Aaron at lboradio.com, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, where we talk about the street smarts of small business with Aaron and Mayumi Muller. You can submit your questions to be answered on the show at lboradio.com. That's lboradio.com. Join us every Saturday afternoon at 4 for the Lifestyle Business Owner Show, right here on AM 1590. The Answer.